Welcome back to another episode of Mike and Matt's Markets and Mortgages. I'm Matt Haberlie, Regional Sales Manager for Success Mortgage.
And I'm Mike Crumrine, Regional Sales Manager for Coldwell Banker Premier. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good. How are you been, Mike?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm having a little bit of internet trouble today, and that's kind of got me down, but we're doing okay. We'll make do.
Yeah. Well, we're creative if nothing else. Today, Mike, what I wanted to talk about is there's a huge thing going on that maybe a lot of people don't realize, that student loans that have been deferred during COVID and then after COVID and zero payment has been going on are about to kick in again come October.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a big change for a lot of people because that's a bill that maybe they haven't been worried about for the past few months.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I wish they would give them a gradual, step up to this and rather than just bam, hit them overnight, because that's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah, I'll say. So that can mean a lot of things for both sides of the coin. So tell me a little bit more about that, Matt. What do we need to be prepared for?
Well, I will cover one thing that we didn't speak about before. And just to kind of, let me give you a basics of how student loans and deferment work with mortgage companies. Because a lot of times when we have people come to us, they go, oh, well, I don't have a payment on that on my student loan. And so they assume, therefore, it doesn't count against your debt to income ratio. What probably most people don't know is that we still have to hit them with a payment against their student loans, even if they don't have a payment. So with Fannie Mae, we hit them with 1% of what the balance is. With Freddie Mac and FHA, we only hit them with 0.5%. So a lot of times, if you ever wonder, let's say you're submitting for a conventional loan and you have a bunch of student loans, I'm going to take you the Freddie Mac route opposed to going Fannie Mae, because that's going to affect your debt to income ratio a little bit less.
Okay. I'm following you so far.
Okay. Trying to keep it normal. No nerdiness. So we are already calculating some type of payment, but even then, that is probably more likely and not way lower than your actual, what your payment's going to be. So
okay,
you still might have a situation where, we're calculating it one way. Let's just say it's $50 today. And then come October, when you actually have to start making your payment, it's going to be $125. And I'll give you an example here that I did the math, because I like to do the math.
Sure.
$75 more in that payment increase will lower down your pre-approval by $11,000.
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, that could be the difference between being able to offer above asking price and make a really competitive offer, and you lose that ability maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Or let's just say next week you guys get into contract. Well, the lender always does a soft pull to see if anything changes before about 2 days before the loan closes. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they pull that, and that student loan that was reporting at 0 is now reporting as 125, 300, 400, who knows? And that all of a sudden, boom, you've gone from, hey, we were fine, to you're short by $11,000, $20,000 for close because we can't approve you above a certain point.
Wow. Okay. That can create a lot of complications, I'll say, in some of the transactions. So that's going to be really important. And it sounds like if we've got people with buyers out there, we need to be making sure that they're getting their pre-approvals looked at a second time and make sure that what they've actually got on paper is what they can actually afford going forward from, you said October 1st?
Starting October 1st, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I've made all my loan officers, I've said, hey, guys, you got to go back in there, start scrubbing through all your pre-approvals, looking at who does and who doesn't have student loans. And if so, you need to reach out to your clients, have them call up the student loan company that they're with, and they can tell them what the payment is. And we can manually put that in there in the computer rather than put in that 0.5%, put in the actual what the payment's going to be come October, just to kind of make sure that we're going to be good, that we're not going to get hit with shock and, wonder why the deal didn't close come October.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a good idea. And I think that would be really a good practice for all the agents that have pre-approvals hanging out there, because you don't want to get somebody under contract thinking that you're good to go. And then, like you said, get a couple days from the finish line and it's not good anymore because there's a pretty big swing in money. You're making the example of $100, but there's people out there that this may be a change in $300 or $400 a month in payments, which could be a drastic change to their affordability.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I don't like to kiss and tell, but I pulled credit on a client the other day who had 27 student loans.
Boy.
Yeah. So how is that affecting their life? This is going to be huge.
Yeah,
Now,
I'll say.
I do want to throw in one caveat to all this, and so we're not all doom and gloom about what's happening. If the borrower is on an income-based repayment and their loan is with, or they're trying to get a Fannie Mae loan, and the income-based repayment doesn't require them to make a payment, it just says zero for whatever reason. Maybe they're just don't make enough money to actually require a payment. Fannie Mae will not hit them with anything for the debt to income ratio. So in some ways, taking it from deferral to income-based repayment with zero being what you have to pay would actually increase what somebody could do.
Okay.
Whereas I will tell you FHA, if they go from deferment to zero-based repayment on income-based repayment, they're still going to take the hit the same way they normally would, whether they're deferred or not. So it really depends if you're going with FHA or Fannie Mae, how it's going to affect that loan.
I mean, I think the bottom line is we just need to make sure that we're out in front of it, especially with our loan officers and our agents both understanding this sort of thing. And the big thing that I'm hearing is, no matter what, let's get our clients that are pre-approved. Let's make sure that we've got that buttoned up and we know what we're dealing with before we get them under contract. If you're under contract with somebody that's going to go through a change in their student loan repayment, they need to be reaching out to their loan officer now, like today, and getting in front of that. And if you're a listing agent, sounds to me like we need to make sure that we're reviewing the pre-approval letters really closely and we're making sure that it is issued after October 1st when the time comes. And if it isn't, we make sure that we ask that question to make sure that we don't have a hiccup when we get to the end of the contract period and we go to closing and find out there's a $30,000 affordability gap we've got to close, or we're not going to closing.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we have these conversations. We have these conversations so everybody else can start having these conversations before it turns around and bites you.
Yeah.
And seriously. And then this could be a whole different dynamic in the respects of going forward later in the year, as if, like you were saying, who knows how big these student loan payments are going to be. And if someone all of a sudden is having to hit with $400, $500, that might be a bill they can afford, and they start having to cut from other things. So this could have huge impact on our markets and what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really appreciate you taking the time to pull the information down and explain this, because I think that we've got a lot of work that we need to do to make sure we understand where our clients are with this sort of thing and make sure that we're protecting them and advising them properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it, Mike.
Absolutely. What else is going on? Anything that we need to make sure we tell the viewers before we wrap up?
No, again, that was kind of my call to action right there. So I don't have anything else. Cool.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I think that's going to be a really important thing for us to be in front of. And I think that's a good talking point to make sure we're educating the people around us so they understand that. It's going to be important for both buyers and sellers to understand that's going to be a moving piece for definitely Q4 this year.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, if you guys have any additional questions about this, feel free to email me, Matt Haberlie, Haberlie, at successmortgage.com.
Or Mike Crumrine, that's Mike Crumrine at premiermove.com.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, guys.